just finished up watering the garden. I'm going to go over and make sure everything's turned off. We'll see where we're at from there. There's carrots and onions, and the calendula needs to be harvested today. I'm going to have to get on it. It's like noon. But I'm going to have to work inside the house because it's really too hot to do anything outdoors right now. It's up to about 82. It's lunchtime, so we'll go take a peek at what I got going on out here. You guys have seen enough of my ugly mug, so I'll just turn it around here for you. Last year I was able to hook it here. I'm sure you're using bungees because you can see this is... We're going to have some of that redone because these are braided. They aren't welded. My flower pots. I really enjoy the flowers. A lot of different things going on in there. Little pot here full of purple. These I just planted the beans that look just like this. These purple ones. We'll have beans in a couple more weeks. I had these all replanted in... The chipmunks have been hell on me this year, and they took out a lot. I replanted, and you can see there's like maybe a half a dozen if I'm lucky. Lucky if I get a meal out of them. Been very aggressive this year. The neighbor has a feral cat, and she's telling me that Lizzie has brought in, I think, 34 chipmunks so far, but I still see them every day. They're just like everywhere. This is some of my bee balm that just expired. Catnip, a tomato. I'm not really sure what kind it is. I don't see any tomatoes on it yet. This one I kind of ignored for a while. It's not really doing well. But yesterday I came through and I watered everything with the fish emulsion. Before I water tonight, I'm going to hit it with the 10-10-10 that I got, the organic stuff. These are my carrots. Here's my garlic. I got this from a local guy. It's his family's, and so I'll give it a try since I didn't have any planted this fall. I wasn't impressed. That was my own fault for not getting them put in last fall. This fall, I am going to buy them, and I'm going to plant them because I'd like to get them nice strong bulbs and go from there. But they got the ramps on them. We got ramps right now. I'm not really a ramp person, but I'll cut them and put them online. If somebody wants to just stop by and pick them up, they can have them. There's not very many, but some people enjoy them. My carrots, these need pulled. We'll eventually get there. I'm waiting for Jim to feel a little better. We'll get out here and get those pulled. More plants. I attempted to put celery in here, but as you see, it was a poor decision. It's not doing as well as it does in the ground. Here's my first Mountain Fresh tomato. These 4 tomatoes along here, these are all Mountain Freshes. And they're getting some decent tomatoes on them. They're still knocking out the tomatoes here, there, and everywhere on the new shoots. These are determinants. I have like a modified California weed. You can see where there's different all the way down, trying to keep it together so it doesn't scatter everywhere. And in front of it is some cauliflower. I planted it late. We'll see if any of it survives. It started to ball up here, so you can see it's starting to fold in. This is an early girl. These are the super steaks. This one has nothing on it yet, but the other 3 do. This is the only big tomato that I have here. It's a little bigger than my hand. I bet it might weigh 12 ounces if it's lucky. Some coneflower. They did really well there, but it's taking up valuable space for other plants that I could grow food. So next year they're going towards the front of the yard. You can see I have the peppers, and then in front of those I have cabbages. In the other row in front of these, there are 2 red Peter peppers. Now, these are my early girls, and they're just really doing a great job for me. I'm very happy with them. I bought this one. It came pre-tomatoes, so I've been pulling tomatoes off of it for about a month now, and it's doing really good. It seems to be happy where it's at. This was supposed to be a bumblebee tomato. Obviously it's not. I must have gotten crossed with something last year, but this is supposed to be a cherry tomato, and it's not. Here was one of the relocated purple beans. We got some cosmos here. And down here, this coreopsis there, it's starting to pop out a little bit. This is a clematis climbing up there, and it's a first-year planting. We're just hoping to get it through the winter so it comes back next year. These are the onions that need desperately pulled. These are the carrots that need desperately pulled. More plants. Really enjoy the flowers. I have to hit that with my app, but I believe that it's going to be a cantaloupe. The rhubarb still, I cut them off and they just grew right back. It's the end of July and I still have rhubarb. It's my oregano and some violas there. The rest of these are filled with the beans too, with the purple beans. We did green beans first. Here is a look at the early girls. You can see they're doing wonderful. Look at them just everywhere. Tomatoes everywhere on the early girls. They're really happy here. Next year I'll put early girls back here because they really thrived here. Let's get up to this next section here. Oh, that's my kitty cat. This is just ground covering sedum. It was a little sprig this spring and it went crazy. These are the bachelor buttons I got from Rohr Seeds. They're beautiful flower, but this wasn't the right spot for them. I'm not going to blame the plant, I'm going to blame myself because they didn't get enough sun initially because I had peas planted here. And next year I know that I only need to plant peas on each end. I can use these 2 inner rows to get other crops taken care of. Ooh, there's a big wasp. I don't know if you can see that bad boy or not. That's some of the cauliflower too. This is my calendula. We're going to harvest this definitely today. That has to get taken down so that we have new growth. It's another one of my pots that I put together. And this is my grapevine. It's up to about 5.5 feet tall. Initially, I think I wanted it to grow along the fence here, but the deer love it more than I do. So I'm going to have to rig something up right inside the gate here. I think I'm going to lead it to go this way. I think it will be a good camouflage if I let it grow the whole way across this way. I really want to get rid of this inside the garden, but there's really no other place to relocate it. So it looks like we got what we got this year, and it's not going to be able to take up this much garden space. It doesn't have as many berries as I expected. I'm going to have to do some more reading and see if that was my fault or whether there was something that could have been through nature that I can correct for next year to get my maximum berry output with that. The calendula is looking good. These are these English cucumbers, the long ones. Here's a couple that need harvested today. I have a couple at the house, so I have to see if one of my neighbors want to come over and grab those when I get them pulled later. What do we have? More bees. Oh, the bees are just in love with this stuff. You can see all those little bees floating around there. I don't know if they're honeybees or just sweat bees or what they are, but it's been filled with them for days. And this is my morning glory that finally bloomed. I have a purple one. I never had a red one. These come from my sister in New Mexico at Kathytopia. She has a really cool TikTok page and she grows weed. You can go check her out. This is my grass here. Just some hostas. There's like a half a dozen or so zinnias that are popping open here, there, and everywhere. So look at how pretty that one is there. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Beautiful. This was Jim's tiger lily. I don't know what I did to the blueberry plants, but I had flowers on it in the spring. None of them kept. And then now they're starting to die. When I went berry picking, the plants looked a lot more healthier than what I'm seeing here. So I'm obviously going to have to do some more homework. A little more calendula. Some borage still floating around. My baby borage is there. Has some new shoots started down through there. If you look around, those will be growing. Another tomato here. This one looks like a marglobe. I think this one's going to be a marglobe, even though It said that it was an indeterminate. I don't think that it is. It's not getting very big. Okay. And there's my hosta corner there. All my pots with the hostas in them. Those will all get planted into the ground this fall and get pulled back up again in the spring. They get moved in and out. Those are for my plant addiction sales. Rose bush, some willow, just little miscellaneous stuff. Got more willow here. That's a red jewel cabbage. More sedum. And we're back to this box here. These are the diva cucumbers here in the center. They're starting to get, let me see if I can find, right here's one right here. Right there. Look at these over here. There's like a half a dozen floating around in different parts. I pulled the ones off of the ground last night. Got a watermelon there. And we got another one here. And we're trying to keep it stayed up so it doesn't fall and break off before it's ready to. It's my asparagus. Really cool thing about asparagus, no matter how tall it is, the asparagus will never get any wider. So same right here with this one. And these you can eat the first year too. They'll be good eating. Tastes like raw asparagus. This is the second row back. You see the elderberry, just so you orient yourself. It's a gourd. It's not really a squash to eat. My blueberry plants. I have a rose bush. A few willows, just miscellaneous plants. This is red sedum, my first year with it. The beautiful, beautiful pink flowers are just amazing. Cucumbers here. These ones are called the General. You see one coming right there. It's about an inch long right now. I don't know how long these are going to get. There's a few here and there. Now this is supposed to be a butternut squash, but it doesn't look like a butternut squash. Kind of square and blocky looking right at this point. There's another bigger one up here. I don't know if you can see it because of the sun. But there's a few. I got to trim off the suckers off of here so we can keep a good stem, so we have some good production. This is kind of a tight corner under this trellis here. This is your green pepper. Can't think of the name of it right now. These are different tomatoes. And you can see I'm really tight on space now. More flowers. Now you see the size of these cabbages compared with this cabbage. I think they're both happy where they're at, and that one gets a lot of shade over there under the trellis. These are all mountain merits right here. These four here. And then we get here to these couple here, and these are Mar globes. So this is about the size they're going to get. A little bit smaller than a baseball. They might be 6-8 ounces. Under this tiny one, I don't know whether there's a frog right down in there. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's really sunny, so I can't really tell. But there's a hole. I'm not sure if there's a chipmunk living in there or it could be a frog, because I have this big old frog that pops in and out around these cabbages when I water. I'll try to put a little extra water in that hole in case it is something that needs water to survive. We're starting to see some yellows, and these are, now we're back down to the marglopes again. You can see they got like little cupies on the ends there, little pointies at the ends. Cute little, like little paste tomato of sort. And these are my steak ones, again, my beef steaks, and these are called Super Fantastic. And I have 3 of them here. And they seem to be happy here. These ones are finally starting to get some color. So that makes me happy. We got lots of tomatoes. We got that 3rd hook there so we can fertilize. Could have fertilized a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to make sure I could fertilize everything at the same time. These are gifted strawberries. There's 2 different kinds. I'm not sure the variety of this one. Then I have this variety. They're starting to branch off. They're getting their runners, so I'm getting them put into the ground as fast as I can. As you can see, I'm using tent pegs. Hold these down. You don't have to, you can use a bobby pin if that's what you got, man. But that's how we do it. And hopefully that will take. And if it takes, then we'll have more of these beautiful strawberries next year. This looks like it's going to be our first tomato. And remember I was telling you over on the other side there about the bumblebee one? This is the other bumblebee one. Obviously not a bumblebee. These are Jupiter green peppers. And those are the early girls. The patio tomato. These are all my different willows. This is an Olpaka tomato. These are the cabbages that I started. Had to plant them 3 times before I got 3 or 4 plants. I got 4 plants. I'm going to pull this one because it's just suffocating. And we'll stick with the 3 here. I neemed them yesterday. I'm going to hit them with neem again today because there's 2 or 3 cabbage moths flying around. I know they're laying eggs. I just want to get ahead of them. They destroyed my green cabbages earlier this season. These are called Baron, the different variety of green pepper here. I grow bell peppers mostly. These 2 here, I'll pull them and give them to my sister this winter. She'll overwinter them and keep them for a couple years. They'll grow really nice for her next year. They're really hot peppers. I'm not really into them. Last year I grew 4 pounds of them and she took all 4 pounds of them. I had no use for them. There's some bee action here. This is my coneflower that I got from Home Depot last year. You can see I'm starting to get some strawberries. Maybe we're getting to the chipmunks that are disturbing the garden. But they're usually not worthy of eating. They're just all nibbled at anyway. They're dying back. I think I'm going to spend some time, little TLC on these, cleaning them up. And I think I'm going to pull these, all these flowers right here. They'll come back next year, but I can put something else over here for now. This is my wild chamomile. I cut it way back. It was just way too much. It was too tall. And as you can see, it's filling right back in. Okay, and then next to it are my beautiful daisies. And then we have this beautiful shot here with my lily there. It's a beautiful oriental lily, almost in full bloom all at once. We might get more of these next year, we might not. But that one that we got, I'm really thankful for, and I think it's most beautiful. These are purple beans, you can see. Take a good peek right there. I'm going to have a dozen or so hanging right there. You can see the purple beans there. And when you cook them, they'll just turn back to green. Another bee. The bees really like this coneflower. A nice cut flower too. I'm cutting right now daisies. I haven't given up any of my zinnias yet, but I cut some daisies from over here and some coneflower here, and I passed out a couple. I use my celery as the green, or what else do I use? My chard and my kale too. I use as my greens from my bouquets that I make. This was all filled with zinnias and sunflowers like it had been last year, and none of it came out. The chipmunks got all the seeds. We got this one zinnia here. And the volunteer cherry tomato. We got some tomatoes on it here somewhere. It's really sunny. And there we go. There's some right there. So you can see them. And I have some clematis planted right here too. And I'm not expecting it to bloom this year, but I would like to see it continue to grow because I'd like to have this like an English opening garden. It's got lots of parsley, got some marigolds, some petunias, some violas. And here we are back to the violas. This red coleus is real pretty this year too, this pink. I might do another Aerosmith pink video on Facebook. And that's where we're at, folks. Hope you enjoyed your first official garden tour. It's the end of July. Let's head on out of here.